Cause I'm on another level. I'm bringing things to life like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, pedo, pedo, pedo.
Pulling strings like Geppetto.
What's up, you guys? This is your boy Geppetto here, back in the building. Yes, y'all liking how I'm pumping out these videos, huh? Okay. So as some of you guys know, I live in 2 states. I live in Georgia and I live in California. And I wonder if a lot of y'all are like, is he rich? Not yet. I'm trying to. Well, how was he able to do it? So I want to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to live in 2 states at the same time. It's actually very doable. I don't live with family or friends or anything like that. It's doable if you plan accordingly and you're just strategic, okay? So tune in and I'm gonna give you some tips on how to live in 2 states at the same time. Now, you guys will wanna know why I live in 2 states. Now in Georgia, I have a lot of entrepreneurial endeavors. And then as my career is going as a screenwriter, director, and actor in California, I have to be in California a lot now as well. And I wasn't really committed to fully moving to California yet, so I just opted to be bicoastal. And I've been able to do it successfully for like the past year. And I just like traveling and switching it up. So the first thing you have to do when you want to live in 2 states at the same time, number 1, you have to find your primary residence and your secondary residence. Now, your primary residence, that's where you're gonna kind of put that down for everything, that's where you spend most of your time. Because even though you are splitting time between 2 states, you are gonna have a place where is your quote unquote home. So decide out of the 2 states you wanna live in, find out which one is your primary residence, okay? With your secondary residence, you definitely want to go ahead and get you like a P.O. box. I am a big advocate for getting a P.O. box so you can have a place where all your mail in that second state to go to. So get you a P.O. box for your secondary residence and then determine which state do you feel like you want to live the majority of your time for, and then the secondary state where you'll be spending half of the time in. So primary address and secondary address, and with your secondary address, get you a P.O. box. I suggest for the second tip, I don't necessarily think you need, unless you are balling like that and you have a lot of money, for your secondary state, I would say definitely rent a room. I don't necessarily think you need to have like a place in both states. I rent a room in California because, like I said, I'm there for a few weeks at a time and then I come back to Georgia. And it's just more financially feasible at this time. When I become rich and a millionaire, or a billionaire, I'm gonna look to have homes all over the place. But it was more financially feasible for me to have a room, renting a room in the secondary state. So yeah, have your apartment or home or whatever in your primary state and then just rent a room and have a P.O. box in the secondary state. Now, the third tip about how you travel back and forth is don't buy round trip tickets, buy one-way tickets. That's a way you can save a lot of money. I started doing that, buying one-way tickets, going back and forth, and you'll be surprised from Georgia to California how sometimes cheap the tickets are, because a lot of people are just like, well, how are you able to travel back and forth? I'm not rich yet, but I'm able to travel back and forth because I'm very smart when I'm looking for airline flights or whatever. So don't buy round trip tickets, buy one-way tickets. You might have to play around with some different airlines. What I personally do, I go on the different travel sites, pop in the destination I'm going to, and then see who has the cheaper flight, and then I actually come out of it and then I go to the actual airline's website and then buy the ticket there, which is cheaper. So definitely buy one-way tickets, don't buy round trips. And lastly, if you want to live bi-coastal and in 2 states, make sure your stuff is secure. So in your primary residence, if you're gonna be away from your home or apartment for weeks on end, make sure your car and apartment is secure. Get you like, either park your car by a trusted friend. You could probably park your car in like a good storage unit, or hopefully if you live in a complex that has security, do that. Definitely have security on your home, because unfortunately a lot of times people like to watch what you're doing. You don't want anybody scoping you out and saying, well, hey, homie hasn't been home for a few weeks, let me go try to rob his spot. So definitely have your stuff squared away in your primary residence. Don't tell too much people what you're doing, because a lot of times when you run your mouth too much and you tell people, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in California for like two months or whatever, that's when people feel like they might be able to like rob you. So don't tell too much people what you have going on. In your secondary residence, definitely try to have a room that you can lock. No matter if you have like a few roommates in your secondary residence, just make sure your room can be locked and you are the only one who has access to it, okay? Anyways, that was just a quick tidbit on how I've been able to live bi-coastal in Atlanta and California for like the last year on a budget. If you guys need any tips and tricks, go ahead and let me know. Follow me on Instagram, it's Geppetto the Griot. It's right here on the screen. Subscribe, more videos coming soon. Peace.